The NFL is going back to Brazil. First Friday of the season. Now, remember, they can only get away with the first Friday night of September when Labor Day falls in a way that it's not the second Friday. It's got to be the first Friday in September after Labor Day. If it lands with Labor Day already after the first Friday in September, and we know that Labor Day is the first Monday in September. So if it's the 4th of September that lands on a Monday, that means the first of September was a Friday. You can't play a Friday night game due to the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1960, which says in exchange for the broadcast antitrust exemption, the NFL can't play Friday or Saturday games from the second weekend in September until the second weekend in December. But in those years where the first Friday of December follows the first Monday of September, first Friday of September follows the first Monday of September, which is Labor Day, then you can do it. So NFL is going back to Brazil. Chargers are hosting the game. And what I saw yesterday that caught my eye, the NFL is going to work to improve the playing surface in Brazil. Well, I don't know why we don't demand more from the NFL when it comes to playing surfaces. If you're going to start taking the game anywhere and everywhere, up to and including the moon, you better be damn sure that the playing surface is exactly like. It's got to look the same on TV. It's got to play the same for the players. Why is that always the afterthought? That should be, if they're doing it the right way, the first line item should be ensure that the playing field is exactly like the playing field at home. And let's identify all factors. Let's test it out. Let's spare no expense and let's get it right. Last year, it was a slip and slide, just like the Super Bowl that the Eagles played a couple of years ago against the Chiefs. That's inexcusable. And if there's going to be no accountability, if all the NFL says is, oops, we'll try better next time, it's never going to get any better. There's always going to be a first time. There's always going to be a screw up. Because what is the downside? They take a little flack in the media. Jerry Jones would say, no publicity is bad publicity. They're talking about us. We're giving them a controversy. It's the ultimate reality show, including the wrinkle of, will the players be able to run on the field without busting their asses? I'd like to think that, and this applies to the ongoing debate between grass and artificial, like, how in the hell? You can regard the players as nameless, faceless automatons, as the literal pieces in the machine, the interchangeable parts in the giant football machine that inevitably will be replaced with someone younger and cheaper, whether they choose to leave the machine, whether they're ripped out of the machine, whether they're broken, whatever. You can view them as anything other than human. But why would you not? Not that you should. I'm just saying, even if you do, why the hell would you not protect your investment in those parts? Whatever you've invested your money in requires a certain amount of protection. It's mind-boggling that the owners won't insist on protecting their investments. You know, this whole talk about the NHL Four Nations face-off and how great it is for hockey. Yeah, guess what? You're going to have a bunch of guys limping back to their teams and not able to play for some period of time because they got banged up playing in an exhibition game. And the teams are going to be upset. Why? Because they put their investments at unnecessary risk. Why do you think the NFL doesn't have a full contact, full speed, go for the jugular Pro Bowl in the middle of the season? Who wants that? Who wants to risk their investment not being able to perform when it's time to play the games that count? So why don't they? I don't get it. And this is one of the main reasons I will never believe the NFL is rigged. I don't think they're competent enough to pull it off for all the great things that the NFL does. And look, spare me the, why do you hate the NFL? I love the NFL as a game. I reserve the right to criticize the stewards of the game who work for the NFL for doing things that undermine the game. And it's their fault. Once upon a time, the main indoctrination method for kids throughout America was NFL films. And when you create this grandiose experience with slow motion football, spiraling but just off a little bit to make it look even better in the snow that's wafting down slowly and the voice of John Facenda, and you're a kid and it works, and you're sitting there at the TV and you're smitten by this thing that is pro football, and it occupies in your mind a higher plane than anything else as it relates to sports, and you root for it, actively root for it to become as popular as baseball, more popular than baseball, more popular than any other sport on the planet, because everyone should know the greatness of the NFL. You create a standard that gets turned back against you when you screw things up. I'm not trying to agitate the NFL because it's fun. It's not. I'm not doing it just to be different. This is my way of being different from everybody else. No, I want the NFL to be great. I want it to be that thing that they made me think it was with NFL Films back in the early 70s. So whether it's not worrying about gambling nearly as much as they should, whether it's subpar officiating, whether it's determining whether or not a team got a first down with 2 sticks and 10 yards of chain, and the naked eyes of 2 different officials who engage in this weird mating ritual to decide who's going to defer to who as to where the spot is, with one guy being in the spot where it keeps a team's hope very much alive to score a win in a pretty impactful game, and the other guy is in the different spot that turns it the other way. Why wouldn't anyone who cares about the game, who was lured down the path, the popcorn trail, the candy on the witch's house that lured Hansel and Gretel inside, why wouldn't that kid say, "What the hell are you guys doing? You can do it better"? Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.